Hey, what's up everyone? I'm just jumping on quickly to talk about what should you do in February or March when it seems that the frosts have stopped and the nighttime temperatures are lifting up and all of your tender plants are desperate to get out and see the light of day. Now, some plants that are typically considered hardy, like this Schefflera taiwaniana, are showing severe signs of stress because this garden here in Dorset experienced some of the coldest temperatures I've ever had in the time that I've been growing plants here. And I think it's the same for a lot of us in the UK and maybe in other parts of the world. You can see the scorching on the end of the leaves, and so many plants in my tropical style garden are looking this way. But don't be tempted to jump the gun. We are not out of the woods yet. There could still be cold weather, and typically February and March have seen frosts, and here in the UK we've had severe snow in March before, and it could happen again. But I just want to talk about the shifting predictability of seasons. Now, typically you'd look at gardening books for advice on when to do what jobs in your garden, and gardening books will tell you that spring is this temperature range, winter is this temperature range, and summer is this temperature range. And that's not really the case anymore. The seasons are shifting and the climate is becoming less predictable. So although the gardening books have been pretty much spot on for such a long time, it's time for all of us to start reading the climate in our own gardens. And everybody's garden is different. I'm in the south of the UK, so typically I get a longer growing season and milder weather. Yorkshire Chris and George from George's Jungle Garden are further up north than me, so their growing season is shorter and they have to deal with harsher winter conditions. So it varies in locations and it varies in microclimates in your garden, and it's all about you getting to know your garden best. So yes, some of you could be unwrapping your tender plants like your banana plants at this time of year. And for species like Musa basjoo that have a lot more hardy cold tolerance than ones like Musa secamensis, that's probably not too much of a risk, so long as you're prepared to keep an eye on the weather forecast and go out and wrap them up with fleece again quickly if there's a harsh frost forecast. So plants like Musa basjoo, which I have one growing here behind the Schefflera taiwaniana, are much hardier than you might expect, and I've seen pictures and videos online that are breaking my heart. People are digging up their Musa basjoo plants because they look so browned and damaged by the cold. Don't leave them there, please. Even if you're somewhere that gets colder winters than I get in my garden, Musa basjoo is a plant that is much tougher than you think. Even if you lose the whole top of the plant, it will regrow from the root base in spring when the weather warms. If those roots haven't frozen, they have the ability to reshoot, and you'll probably get more than one new plant regrow. I urge you to not go out and dig up half-dead looking plants at this time of year. Just leave them if you can. Just enjoy the process of watching them recover and reshoot, and you'll be surprised at how many of these plants that are considered traditionally tender or half-hardy, how resilient they are to this cold weather here in the UK or anywhere in the world that gets cold weather. Now, I'm not going to cover this banana. It's been uncovered all winter long. It's taken minus 5.2, and I was told that when it thawed out it was just going to fall over. It hasn't. That's because I read my garden the way I want all of you to read yours. Behind this Schefflera taiwaniana, which is an evergreen shrub, there is a frost-free pocket, and you can see that the Schefflera has taken the brunt of the cold because of the cold scorch on the leaves. But that's fine, that's what it was there for, because behind it I want to protect the more tender or herbaceous plants, and it seems to have worked. Now come spring, I might be eating my words and I could be completely wrong, but so far it looks like everything's gone to plan. And hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and you'll see the updates when the weather warms and I'm swinging in my hammock and either the banana is going to have regrown or I'll be crying in the hammock planting a new banana. Now don't get me wrong, I completely understand that I'm quite lucky in that now I have a greenhouse. I can take cuttings as backup plants, like this Aeonium cyclops. I've got 3 or 4 cuttings because it looks like mine may have succumbed to the cold weather this winter. But you don't need a greenhouse to take backup plants. You can do it on a sunny windowsill, which I did for many years, or even on the window in your shed if it's got one, or in your porch, or in a conservatory, or in your garage. It's making use of the space you've got, much like I keep urging people to do in their garden. By taking backups, you have a fallback if cold weather does take some of your plants. I think that's what it's all about. It's experimenting, seeing what works in your garden, and understanding the propagation process so that you can have backup plants to replace anything that you lost, especially if it's a favourite plant. I mean, I really loved that Aeonian Cyclops. It had gotten huge, but things happen. I said I was going to experiment, and experiments have different outcomes, and they're not always the ones that we think they're going to be. Now, let me know if any of you have experienced losses in your garden that are really driving you mad, and if you're wondering if you should cut something back or leave it, or you just want some help or advice, leave a comment and I will get back to you and do my best to help you and share what knowledge and what experience I've gained over the years, and hopefully other people that are watching this video will help you out as well. Now, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.